TDE finally reveals why Kendrick Lamar absolutely hates the game, and it all played out earlier today. There's been a quiet beef and war between Kendrick Lamar and the game. If you guys haven't noticed, go on Twitter. You see Kendrick Lamar associates dissing game on any given day. But the game feels like Kendrick Lamar hasn't liked him for quite a while now. The game has accused Kendrick Lamar of dissing him on multiple other songs well before this Drake and Kendrick beef, where the game hopped into beef and took Drake backface against other rappers who was dissing Drake. So Kendrick Lamar hasn't liked the game for a while now.
Because he would say it when...
Now we're jumping into this Kantiana, man. For those of you guys who don't know what actually has looked like, the game and Kendrick Lamar have had a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a 1-2 step like Sierra. It does appear to me as if they're not having the greatest time when it comes to, dealing with one another. And with that all being said, who better than Flakko to give us some flammery, skullduggery, and an awful lot of larceny. With that all being said, we finna jump right into this Kantiana and see exactly what is going on with Kendrick Lamar in the game. Let's slide into this content. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Kendrick said, "I see dead people" on the beginning of what song was that?
Not like us.
When he said that in the beginning of
that's the same as the One Blood intro.
Song. We did a song where Game said that in the beginning. Dre did the beat.
One Blood. No, not One Blood.
It's another song.
Yes, it was One Blood, right?
Oh, then we did another song where
no, it's definitely One Blood.
Said that. Game thought Kendrick was subliminally dissing him. I spoke to Game for over an hour. I told Top Dog this. This is a fact. I spoke to him for over an hour, convincing him that Kendrick was not dissing him. When Kendrick did,
I think it might. I took it as a homage. I thought Kendrick was showing love. That's how I interpret it. But I could be wrong. I could be entirely wrong.
That one where he was talking about Big Sean or all that. Game asked me, was he dissing him in that song?
What element?
The Heart.
Oh, The Heart. Okay.
I went and talked to Kendrick about it. Kendrick was like, "Man, I would never diss him. What is he talking about?" I told Chuck this, and I reminded him that on that conversation. I said, "Dog, these you like chill out. This is real." But in his mind, he like is throwing shots at me. So this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Conversations that me and this man be having. This is real. I am his conscience. I be stopping him. But guess what?
Hey, Game be ready for war, man. Game be ready to get into. Man, look, who tripping? Who got something to say? What you was talking about me? Okay, you was saying the game like the PlayStation, not the game like the rapper, right? Okay, cool. Just making sure.
I had that conversation. Then he started dissing Rick Ross.
Right. Right.
I got to call it down the line. That's some odd behavior from the game. It felt like the game was kind of looking for a reason to diss Kendrick Lamar, because I see dead people is clearly him talking about Drake and OVO and not the game. But the game was looking for a reason to diss Kendrick, in my opinion, by even asking that, right? But clearly, when the game stepped into the beef, now if Kendrick Lamar didn't like the game before this battle, he clearly didn't like the game after this battle, because the game stepped in and dissed Rick Ross on behalf of Drake, because it was Drake versus 20 people, right? A$AP Rocky, Future, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, Kendrick Lamar, The Weeknd, like among others, right? It was literally, they were jumping him. Now, the game of Drake is cool. Game is from Gangland. So Game is only thinking in gang rules, which is if my man is getting jumped, I'm jumping in. So he jumped in. Now, it may be for clout reasons as well, but he jumped in and started attacking other rappers who were dissing Drake. Kendrick Lamar felt like Game picked a side by stepping in and dissing rappers on behalf of Drake, even though the game never dissed Kendrick Lamar. And that was the game mentality. The game mentality was...
Yeah, I don't really see the Kendrick Lamar, like, I don't really see it like at all. You feel me? I can see how from Game's perspective, I never took the time to look at it before now, but from Game's perspective, I can see how he could feel this way. But nah, I don't see that one.
Because if I didn't
but then again too, I'm outside looking in. You feel me? So who knows? Niggas be knowing things that I don't.
It's Kendrick Lamar. Why is he tripping? Like, why is he tripping? Like, if I stepped in and I'm dissing Rick Ross, a dude who I probably don't like anyways, on behalf of Drake, then why is Kendrick Lamar tripping? But Kendrick Lamar and TDE felt it don't matter. If you stepped into this battle and took Drake's side, you are now an op and an enemy. But here's where you will learn a little later in this video. Game was already an op and an enemy to him.
Yeah.
So last time I seen him, when was that? When we was at the will.i.am thing.
Okay.
So when we went to that thing at FY,
Visionaries.
remember that?
Yeah, Visionaries.
Me and him arguing in the bathroom. It's a whole thing going on in the outside. And this whole conference going on. And he's like, you the reason that I diss Rick Ross. I said, yeah, you weren't supposed to diss nobody. I told you not to say nothing. Well, you told me not to say nothing about Kendrick. I said, because he wasn't dissing you. Man. Wow. It was a whole thing. Then we had to walk out because it was literally like a Will.i.am was having a conference thing.
Right.
Man, this is really in there. He's like, man, I was like, dog, you shouldn't have. I told you not to diss nobody. I told you not to say nothing. Say, man, motherfuckers be saying that you won't be hearing it. I said, no one's talking about you, dog. They're not. But you know.
So is this why he wasn't invited to the pop out?
I don't know if he was invited. I think he could have won if he wanted.
I think Game could have won if he wanted to, honestly. Honestly, I don't think that he cared.
Wanted to.
That's true.
It's not that type of deal. It was no invite or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Him and Drake are friends. They're friends. Okay? So I want everybody to understand that. That's his boy. So him and Kendrick, it's a different relationship. You get what I'm saying? It's not like they buddy. Kendrick don't call Game to hang out. It's not that type of we're going to do a song. Let's do a song. They both from Compton. Kendrick was inspired. Game is a fan of Kendrick. It's not that type of deal. Game is a very competitive. So when somebody Game ain't J. Cole.
I hate that for J. Cole fans so much that whenever we bring up somebody who's not a killer or don't got the killer instinct in hip hop, J. Cole is the number one reference, bro. It's kind of like when people were saying, yo, LeBron James don't got the killer instinct, and LeBron James.
J. Cole is for sure the poster child of Turn Down.
This was like the number one reference for a choke artist after the series with the Mavs. This is what it's like in hip hop currently, bro. J. Cole is like the reference for somebody being soft in hip hop. And there's nothing J. Cole can do about it, and I think it's sad, okay? But that's a part of the issue as well. The Game felt like he once had access to Kendrick Lamar, and now he does not have access to Kendrick Lamar. So anything that happens, he's taking it personally, right? Now, the Game feels like he should have access to Kendrick Lamar because, you know, like Kendrick Lamar was inspired by him. He did favors for Kendrick Lamar when Kendrick was on the come up, but now Kendrick Lamar don't want to really talk to him and has kind of discarded him. The Game felt like, damn, bro, like really? Now, the Game would even express a stat quo. I think that's his name, Stat Quo. The Game would express a stat that he feels like Kendrick Lamar, right, be ducking him, be avoiding him, and he don't want to have a conversation, and he don't understand why Kendrick don't want to have a conversation. What we'll learn in this video is that Kendrick Lamar has been holding something deep down inside, and
I don't think Kendrick Lamar is holding anything deep down inside. I think that Flakko's projecting the feelings that he wants Kendrick Lamar to have onto the game, onto the situation, because we know damn well ain't nobody from TDE talked to Flakko, so how the hell would you know what feelings Kendrick Lamar was holding down deep down inside?
Personal against the Game that he hasn't told the Game, which I feel like if he would have told the Game a whole lot easier, or a whole lot earlier, I mean, that would have solved a lot of these issues a long time ago. But because he didn't, he held it within, and now it's coming out publicly. This is the first time the Game is even hearing that Kendrick has an issue with him because of this. But here's the Game telling Stat, he has a problem with Kendrick Lamar not talking to him.
It is too. Another thing, there's some insight, and I'm gonna say why you on the thing. There's some insight. Dot don't get on the phone with everybody. He don't talk to. This what y'all got to understand about Kendrick Lamar. He just not talking to everybody. He talked to Glasses. He's a very few small people that he'll get on the phone with. I think that was another thing that Game had an issue with. He couldn't get Kendrick on the phone, and I'm trying to explain. He's like, man, why won't he just talk to me? I'm just like, hey, man. And I'm explaining to this, everybody ain't the same. I remember having a conversation with Kendrick about that phone and just talking. He's like, that's his vice. Because we were just talking about vices one day. And his vice is being away, like being able to cut things off and cut the world off and no one be able to touch him. Like some people's vice is shopping. He enjoys the fact that just can't get to him.
They want access, and he be like, "Yeah."
They want the access, and he enjoys to do. Dog, we all. When you see Dr. Dre, dog, we all admire the fact that at any given time, bro, Dre can cut access off to anyone whenever he wants. Like you cannot get to this man. Like literally, you can't get him on the phone. Can't get him by his house. You can't see him. You don't know where he at. He is like a ninja, and so like Eminem does that. And that's what I be trying to explain. That's why I was explaining to Game when it came to Dot. But he feels as though because he was he was one of Dot's inspirations that he should always have that access. Sure. But that's just not what it is. I be trying to people have their own way of having to deal with certain things. And
nah, bro, I don't care how much they try to.
Now, I can see both sides. I'll look at it like this. Should Kendrick Lamar be paying homage to the dude who put him on? For sure. But how much homage does he need to pay? At what point can he stop, accepting in a little brother role? Because it's kind of like, at what point does Michael Jackson, excuse me, at what point does Michael Jordan's high school basketball coach stop saying, oh yeah, I'm the one that found him in PE class in 9th grade and I put a basketball in his hand and now he's Michael Jordan? Like, at what point can you, does he not owe you anything? When is the debt clear? When is the debt paid? I don't know. Like, when...
Decorate that goofy-ish, it's still goofy, bruh. That is weird and goofy-ish. As simple as that, bruh. It's weird and goofy. If you and this man had a relationship and you now like want to cut him off, then tell him. Don't duck his calls, bro. Like, bro, that makes no sense. If Kendrick Lamar had a relationship with the game when the game was somebody that he needed, when the game was showing love to Kendrick, putting his arms around him, taking him on tour, right? Like doing things that big. If the game is helping usher you into the industry and show you mad love when he didn't need to, I feel like the least you owe him is hey, bro, I don't rock with you because of this. Pete. But I ain't trying to hear the decoration for that goofy stuff, bro. Oh, nah, he's just mysterious. He just, nah, man, he just be disappearing. Dot is like Jesus.
What if this nigga just don't want to be bothered?
Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ be gone for 2,000 years, he ain't come back yet. That's how Dot is, Dot imitates Jesus Christ. Man, hey, bro, y'all cannot, hey, Stat, you usually fair, bro. You can't decorate this goofy-ish. I watched about 4 clips today of Stat. He sounds like a fair guy. You can't decorate. This is goofy stuff. You can't hop on the phone. Hey, bro, this is why I don't. Hey, bro, this is why I don't rock with you. Especially if y'all had a relationship in a rapport. I don't agree with that goofy stuff.
Well, that's Flakko's dissertation. I'm not really sure about that one. Flakko's saying a lot of things, and none of them really are substantiated by anything outside of his just talking. With that all being said, man, we're about to get up out of here to the next one. Red dots to the left, you know the rest. Their prayer and be blessed. We are gone.